Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Well, if you are a value investor, you are always on the lookout for good value stock pick ideas, and that's why we bring Tracy Reineck in here, our value stock analyst at Zacks.com, about once a week to give you a couple of stocks that are on her value radar screen. You got a couple of interesting ones here, I have to say. Jinpan International, JST, the ticker symbol. Yep. They manufacture cast resin transformers. So they're like a technology company in China.
Kind of. A lot of their equipment goes into big infrastructure projects, like factories, industrial parks, subways, and a lot recently has been going into wind power. Oh. So that has been a real big growing part of their business. It's grown to about 18% of their sales this last quarter. And that is worldwide now because that's kind of the hot area to be in is, solar power and wind generation for energy. And so they're seeing a big uptick in sales in that area and internationally because they are based in China, but they grew their international sales 40% in this last quarter to about 18% of their total sales from 13% in the year ago quarter. So that's a nice jump for them to get out of just their own market, which we haven't seen a lot of Chinese companies doing.
So if you had to put them into an industry classification, what industry would they fall under?
It's kind of hard to pinpoint them. They're more, industrial manufacturing almost.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. They, beat big on this last quarter. They had, but the sales were down 1.8%, but that's not that unusual given what we're seeing across everybody. They're not that expensive right now. They're trading at about 12 times forward, so that's not super expensive. That's in the value range. Estimates are up. They did give guidance of between $3.40 for this year, 2009, to $3.54. There's only one covering analyst on the stock so far, so it's kind of like a hidden gem out there.
Yeah, not real
secret.
Popular on the street yet.
Right, and that analyst is a little bit higher than, came in like in the middle of the guidance, like at $3.45. But, estimates are trading up. The company has been producing every quarter, so, we'll kind of see going forward here. But they are in this kind of hot industry and expanding their markets internationally, which is good for a company right now, as I said. The stock has been, as we've seen a lot of these, kind of crazy. Traded as low as a little over $11 in March, and then it's quadrupled off of that. But given what they've been able to do with their earnings, it's not, as I said, a very expensive stock right now. So it's kind of an interesting play on China and then the whole infrastructure, which is kind of plays into the stimulus that a lot of countries have around the world because they are boosting all that kind of infrastructure spending.
Okay. And then Jarden Corporation, JAH, the ticker symbol, on the New York, presumably manufactures consumer products.
Yes. They make a lot of products that people know. A lot of their brands are really well known, like Rawlings. They do Mr. Coffee. They do Seal a Meal, Crock-Pot, which is one of my favorites.
Cook for months in advance with a crock-pot.
That's right. Whole cookbooks devoted to crock-pot cooking. But, these are products that are, holding their own out there in the marketplace right now. The company has surprised on estimates 4 quarters in a row, so they've been doing real well in that regard. Sales were down, again, last quarter, year over year by about 6.7%. But the company is more optimistic going into 2010 and sees organic sales growth returning again in 2010, so that's a positive. They didn't give any guidance, but the estimates are jumping because the analysts are seeing, some better things coming out, and so analysts are all raising estimates, which is what we want to see here at Zacks. The stock price has been a little crazy, like we've seen, but they actually hit the low last November and then also have basically quadrupled off that low. They're not super expensive, trading a little bit, 11 times forward earnings, so that's not crazy in this kind of economy. And you're kind of betting on consumers buying the brands that they know when you're looking at a company like Jarden because...
Although I don't see a lot of marketing for those products.
No, they kind of go on their own, glories,
Word
I
of
think.
mouth advertising.
Yeah, because a lot of us know those name brands. I mean, I don't even drink coffee, and I know Mr. Coffee.
Well,
so.
Joe DiMaggio sure did the commercials all those years.
Right.
For that one, Seal a Meal.
Right. I know that
was
too.
Popular. But they became popular through television commercials.
Right. But and those brands just kind of have tended to stay with the American public, at least so far.
Yeah. Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
All right. Well, if you want to check out more Zacks Rank Buy stock pick ideas, get on over to our homepage, Zacks.com, and look in that upper right-hand corner where we post 4 new stock pick ideas for you daily. One in each of the investment categories that is written about on Zacks.com. Where else? With Tracy Reinick, I'm Terry Ruffalo.